What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 40 of my Total Warhammer 3 Drycha Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, Drycha faced off against the ogres once again outside Nobbly Gorge, destroying the army pretty easily and thus clearing the last of the ritual armies that spawned at the Haunted Forest. Pretty nice. This ritual will be then complete in 4 turns and we will be able to build the Nobbler outpost for more money and a little bit more trade tariffs. So both should be pretty useful. We're losing minus 16k per turn right now, so yeah, gonna need some help there. Now, in terms of what we gotta do this turn, we do have Grimgor Ironhide coming in, and the question is, do we try to fight him? The 5 Arachnaroks is a little bit much, I gotta say. And I'm not entirely sure that we could defy them or fight them, but I do feel like we gotta give it at least a try. And I think that the way we might want to do it is by getting some temporary regiments of renown in here. We're not going to be putting them into an actual army right now anyway, as these 2 units will be put into a little bit of a fast-moving cavalry army. So maybe we'll get them in here, they'll die, or we'll delete them and then we'll just take them out after. And they'll still probably be more effective than maybe a couple of these units. The question is, which do we get rid of? Against the Arachnaroks, I fear that the wolves aren't going to be as useful, so perhaps what we'll do is this. Like so, and then like so. What? Wait, why can't we? Huh. That's weird. Why aren't we able to merge these units? Am I crazy, or should these be mergeable? These 2 can be merged. Why can't... Huh. Well, that's really unfortunate. I guess we're gonna have to delete a tier 3. Okay, wait. Maybe if we do something else with some other unit, it'll allow us to merge them. So here's what we'll do first. First of all, Drycha, we're going to send you to the Haunted Forest, right to the edge of it. We got as much movement remaining as possible right there. Then we're gonna take the World Roots. It feels like, or Deep Roots rather, it feels like it's been a while. So in Drycha we have to select you, and to the Deep Roots we go. And we are going to send you to the Witchwood. Now, I was thinking that maybe we go to Lorelorn Forest, but the thing is, there's a benefit to going to the Witchwood in fighting the enemies of our elven allies, and Lorelorn is kind of near to our other armies, and I feel like we could reach that anyway just by walking there, whereas we can't do the same for the Witchwood. So, to here we go, Drycha. And what do we have here? Well, if it isn't Malekith himself. And he's got a pretty nice stack on him, doesn't he? As well as 3 armies. Ooh. Well, that's gonna be interesting. Are we able to reach Witchwood in 1 turn? Yes, we are. So we could take it over fairly easily with a quick auto-resolve and just occupy it. And it may be that, Malekith immediately attacks us. Alright, well that should be pretty interesting, and these guys are already holding some territory here, and by these guys I mean Avalorn, though at least in some situations, or in some of these territories it's probably not going to be for long. So, we are going to begin by doing a declaration of war against Malekith here. Fortunately everybody joins us. Lovely, and this will make all the elves like us considerably more, especially after a few turns of us annoying Malekith. And then we're going to immediately take the Witchwood. And we're going to occupy that real quick. Hopefully it's not too much damage. Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. And we will seed it. And there we go. We've captured a tier 1. We'll immediately start upgrading it. Got a free Val's Anvil Smith and a free Luck Stone. And we shall build... Ooh, what do we have here? Wait, you can build a tier 2 of this immediately? Huh, interesting. We just can't build the tier 3 because that's part of the ritual. Alrighty, well, that works. Let's immediately go guard platform, let's immediately go forest lookouts, and then we'll go growth as well as soon as we have access to it next turn. We do have quite a bit of growth, so it'll be a lot faster than it was in previous times. We'll see if Malekith attacks us. I would be interested to see if he's brave enough to try that sort of thing. Should be a fun time for Drycha over the next few turns. Now, We have other things to do, I'm sure. So, Tala and Ikiran. Now, I think that you guys can't actually reach anybody here, unfortunately. At least it seems unlikely. We could give it a try. Let's put you here. We'll have to essentially abandon Help It and risk getting a Skaven Plague infection, but, well, sometimes you have to risk it. Go after Vermich here. He's going to run? Yeah, of course he's going to run. The question is, can he run far enough? Yeah, he can run really far, can't he? Alrighty, well then. We'll put you into ambush, Ikiran, because we can't put Tala into it. So we'll do that. Then we're going to delete one unit of bears from this army, I guess. And Colas, you're gonna go in here. And let's hope the ambush gets somebody. We're completely surrounded here, so I expect we'll at least lose one of these territories, but, well, it's probably necessary at this point. Alrighty, next up, Durthu's good, Colas is good, Akka is good, or the other Akka, other Akka, Dare Talk. Now, I was gonna have you take Castle Artois, but Fort Bergbus is also right there. It's a tier 3 fort, but we would have to fight this manually, which is a little bit unfortunate because we've already fought the battle at or at Helmgart rather, and it was fairly easy. And Artois will probably have to be fought as well. So I guess the question is, what's more important? If we don't take Fort Bergris, the thing is there's a decent chance that they attack Gisoro, so I think we have to give it a try. I take it this is not auto-resolvable? Most definitely not. Alright, so we'll give this a fight shortly. Well, let's do everything else, spread out the admin and the fighting, and then we'll do that. Next up, well, Dare Talk, you've moved. Dulcith the Wild, yes. Can you... oh. Wait. Oh, that's why we can't merge them, because you're... oh, I'm an idiot. Wow, okay, yeah, so you just have to look away and then look at this for a second. We have to delete you, because these guys are what I wanted was essentially to transfer units to this one, but that's not gonna work. Okay, so we're gonna delete 2 of you. Or 3 of... no, we're gonna delete 2 of you. And we're going to replace you with these 2 regiments of renown. And I think we're going to delete one of the spiders as well. And we're going to get another bear. As many bears as possible, because I think bears are the only way we can win this. There's just so many of those Arachnaroks there. Then, in Dulcith, we're going to have you go into, let's say... Flock of Doom is not going to be too helpful here, frankly. We could get the 2nd level in Vissen's wild form, which might be helpful. Generally speaking, I would have probably preferred to avoid it because it's a lot of investment into a spell that I personally don't like using all that much because the duration is too short. But maybe. We get Foe Seeker as well instead for the Vigor. No, but you have Perfect Vigor, so it doesn't actually matter for you right now. And none of this will help us here because you're a beast army. In fact, you won't need the Red Line at all. None of it will benefit you, and I mean, I guess we'll have to be skipping Stand Your Ground and Rally. I guess we could, oh, we could still get benefits from for the Zotes. We just only have 1 Zote right now. You know what, maybe we'll get Pan's Impenetrable Pelt then. Although, the unupgraded version is kind of weak. You know what, now, let's get Vissen's Wild form at 2nd rank. Would have preferred to actually have Wildheart over Flock of Doom for this particular battle, but, yeah, doesn't look like that'll happen. Then what we'll want to do is we'll want to move here outside the settlement and go into ambush. If we can at least ambush Grimgor, that should help out. He's definitely going to try to go for Firemouth. Okie dokie, so that's set up. We'll see if we can pull it off. I suppose if we can't, then this army will die, and we'll have to get a new wild office lord. Alright, Dare Talk's good. Dulcith the Wild is now good. Deluric, you have things to do as well. We're gonna have you jump over to the haunted... ah, don't tell me you can't... you can't reach it. Well, well. That's a crying shame. Oh, also, before I forget, we should also declare war on the Dolgan.
We'll shatter the peace of your forest domain.
Yeah, there we go. And just so that our allies can take over these territories for free. I mean, well, why wouldn't they? Yeah, okay, I guess you're moving by march stance to the Haunted Forest, and in fact, we don't actually need you to have any of these units. Let me just double check here. What do you have? You have the Respondents of Luminescence, eh? And again, if we have you as a second army, you could probably help a little bit against the orcs. And though I guess the question is what we would want to put into your army. You know, I'll give it some thought. Let's, for now, get this Manticore, mostly because they're kind of hard to find. And we'll probably transfer it to our wild man up there. But otherwise, we'll be recruiting here in a few. Yeah, I guess we could get some more Great Hawks, but I don't really see the need. Although, nobody will likely have as much benefit to the Great Hawks as you would, so if anybody gets Great Hawks, it should probably be you, but you can raise them here anyway, so we'll see. The bears are needed specifically for the Arachnaroks right now, and that'll probably change. Anyway, Danas, you are going this way. Dada, you are going north as well. Alright, Strathot and Israstot. You two are not moving at all. You're going to stay near Colas, but just in case Orion attacks us next turn, we're not going to actually join the army as yet. In fact, once again, in case he attacks us, we should probably assign some points. Skewering Branch and Skin of the Woods are useless in this particular army. We're going for the Wings of the Forest, so I guess we'll continue through that. And we have Obscuring Canopy and Wings of the Forest. I guess we can get Open Branches as well. Oh, you know what? Let's get Rally for now. These guys should be leveled fairly quickly, so... And there is still that to consider. You need to get Arcane Conduit, so let's get you 1 point in Earthling, 1 point in Dwellers Below, and then Arcane Conduit. You don't benefit anybody we have in this army, do you? Wait, causes fear for Hawk Riders. Yes, you do, in fact. Alright, so let's get Death from Above. For the Hawk Riders. Okay. And then I don't believe you'll ever run out of ammunition, so let's get you Piercing Shots. We'll do Bottomless Quiver afterwards. Actually, no, we should probably do Tempered Rigor, because we're still going to put you into melee. On occasion, at least. You are going to get Piercing Shots and then follow it up by getting Swordplay. Well, okay, if anybody's not going into melee, it's probably the Waystalker. So let's get Bottomless Quiver. I've still never seen them run out of ammunition, basically. No, you know, it's still going to go for Tempered Rigor. It's just too good. And just in case. Yeah, see, I even skip Bottomless Quiver on the other one. You can have Training, though, because you're training some folks, and let's get you maxed out on Bottomless Quiver. Perfect. Alright, so if this guy gets attacked, well, then at least our heroes will be in a good place. Isilal the Lost. You still have to stay here, but we do have to keep recruiting, so... let's say 2 more Wildwood Rangers... but the rest of the units in this army, I think, are all going to be Malevolent Treekin. So that'll take 1, 2, 4 turns. And then... is that too many Wildwood Rangers? I think it's a good amount. It's the appropriate amount. And then we'll have some heroes in here, most likely. At least a Glade Captain, and at least a... well, at least 1 Glade Captain, and at least 1 Branch Wraith. So that's 2. And this will be a Lure of Life, most likely, to buff up the Treekin as much as possible. So we wouldn't really benefit from like a Zote or anything like that. I'm just wondering if there's anything else we'd want to put in this army, but probably not right now. I mean, the problem with this army, like... this is that it won't be able to chase anything, which makes me think that we want to get like just 2 wolves or something, and just the 2. They'll probably pay for themselves quite a lot. I like that. Yeah. Especially since there's no range, we need to have at least something that can chase stuff down. And then I guess we'll have 1 less either Wildwood Ranger or 1 less Treekin. We'll see about that. But this is the form of that the army will take. +1 Branch Wraith. And then +1 Glade Captain, which is on the way. Alrighty, and then we need to continue recruiting with Akka here. Let's get a couple of regular War Dancers. We're gonna have more War Dancers than... we're gonna have more War Dancers than a Malevolent Treekin in here, and in fact, we'll probably get a couple Tree Men as well in this army. Because this army is gonna be a little bit different than the other one. This is our Loek army, definitely going to be led by a Lord of Shadows, and it also needs to have lots of heroes to get as much benefit as possible from the War Dancer buffs. So at least 2 heroes, probably 3, maybe even 4. So we should also keep an eye on what we have here. Glade Captains, we have Ambush Success Chance increase, I do like that, as well as the poison attacks. Yeah, alright, let's get you Cunning. And Branch Wraiths, I think we checked last episode, but should keep an eye on this. We have Cluster of Radiance, we have Muster of Malevolence and Pageant of Shrikes, and we have Annoyance of Netlings and Befuddlement of Mischiefs. I do like the idea of getting more Ambush Success Chance in this army. And that would be pretty nice. But if this is going to be a Lord of Shadows, we will need a Lord of... Life, probably. Well, no, probably. In fact, we will have to. You know what? Let's get the Befuddlement of Mischiefs. Maybe we'll get 2 Branch Wraiths in this army. Maybe. If we have enough Branch Wraiths to go around. That's kind of the issue right now. The limitation on the Branch Wraiths, but that's good enough. Alrighty, preparing new armies. I love it. We should also keep double-checking that we don't have access to Mortis engines yet. And no, not yet. Please, Sylvania, please. Someday. Someday. And yeah, I don't think that there's anything we want from these armies, at least not right now. Maybe if they get something interesting, then we'll pick up a few allies. I mean, we could get a few Vargulfs, but I don't see why we would bother when we have access to Tree Men. I did want to get Black Coaches in an army, but that'll be in one of our cavalry armies. And it's probably better to have 3 Black Coaches and 1 Mortis Engine, so that the Mortis Engine can keep the Coaches alive, as we have a limited ability to actually heal the Coaches. Yeah, we need a Mortis Engine with them. Damn. Alrighty, well, we'll deal with that when we can. Dalsith is ready to go, and unless there's buildings to build, and there probably is, we'll skip those for now. We'll do the fight, and then we'll do the buildings right after. We could level up with you. I guess we'll get the Wonders of the Forest, although I'm not entirely sure we'll be raising the place, but just in case. And is there anything else? I guess you can get Vissen's Wild form. We have benefits for the Great Eagles and the Dragons, so that's everything here. So I guess we'd have to pick something here and then go into this portion of the tree, or we could start going to Quartermaster. We need to start moving into Quartermaster in basically every Lord right now. You know what, let's do this. Let's get you to Evasion, or maybe to Transformation of Summons a Vargulf. Really? Not summons a Manticore? But why? Unless this is a... unless this is broken. Von Karstein, Lorpel. I feel like this should summon a Manticore or an Eagle or something like that. We'll ignore that for now, but yeah, let's get... We get Vissen's Wild form. You know what, let's get 1 point in Flock of Doom. You're Lure of Life, so this is the only way we'll be able to cast it. And then we'll get Evasion. Alrighty, good enough, at least for now. Let's attack. I mean, I'm sure we could get levels on the rest of these guys, but I don't care enough to do so right now. We'll do this cinematically, of course. Alrighty, another fort to bring down. Oh, this is actually a pretty neat angle to watch this from. I've never done that before. Look at that. Yeah, I didn't know the camera could actually go up here, even though we did know that the units could go up here since we did put them in this exact same place last time we fought that battle. Anyway, from up on high, we can see our Air Force going over the enemy walls. The enemy also has its own lord, who is on a flying mount as well, so we're going to be obviously sending our eagles to assassinate said lord, as we like to do with this army, while our dragons and manticores apply their higher level of splash damage to kill the enemy infantry, or mince them. And there we go, the dragons and the manticores land upon the walls there, and they will be taking out all of those archers and handgunners up there. The eagles are also surrounding the enemy lord. Might be neat to watch an entire battle like that, but it's also kind of hard to say. Alright, and there we go. Those eagles are mobbing that enemy lord, and he is in pretty terrible shape already. Below half HP, broken, and now he's going to get chased down. The manticores and the dragons have also landed below the wall and should be mincing those infantry quite effectively. Now, there are a decent amount of halberdiers and other units here. There are handgunners, lots of halberdiers, great swords, but as long as these units stay relatively close to each other and protect each other, the enemy shouldn't be able to get too much value out of it. On top of that, the manticores and dragons are at a higher level than they were last time we fought one of these battles, so they should be performing even better. There we go. Not as bloody of an effect as I was hoping, but that's okay. Here come some dwellers below to balance that out and make some and water the plants with blood there. Perfect. The enemy did oblige by blobbing up like that, and the dwellers below destroy 3 full units, and, well, I'm not sure it was them that forced the other units to rout. They are just wavering over here and terrified from the dragons, but, well, it works just as well. In the meantime, it looks like the eagles have managed to kill or otherwise chase off that enemy lord, and have now landed to fight the Empire Knights and the great swords that are up here, mostly because they were the closest target, and we needed to distract them so that our hawks could go after the mortars and any ranged units that they can find. Looks like these hawks have already found that unit of crossbows, and they're all already routing, and I'm sure, judging by how quick that happened, the enemy mortars will do the same in a few seconds. And there we go. Must be pretty horrifying to have hawks that big just jump down on you. There we go. Well, those guys are either off the field or dead. The eagles are doing pretty okay. Not a lot of damage to them, even though they're not doing a crazy amount of damage themselves. Definitely seeing from the last few episodes where we've been comparing the eagles and the manticores that the eagles are better as assassins of single-target entities. They do take a while to do this, although they should be reasonably effective against cavalry units, like these Empire Knights as well. It is still taking them quite a while. Otherwise, the main force is absolutely ripping through the enemy infantry, and it looks like the battle will be over extremely shortly. The halberdiers are routing. There's a few units that are still in the fight, but our lord has now also entered the settlement, and I think with only the 3 or 4 units that haven't routed, and the entire army will shatter in a few. Our lord is also going to try to chase it down, that wizard, but that's all irrelevant. Or, if not irrelevant, I suppose it won't make much of a difference, which kind of makes it irrelevant. And there we go, and even amongst their tents they get swarmed by hawks and bats. And of course the manticores and the dragons kicking back and just leisurely munching on a few extra soldiers. And there we go, I do believe with that the enemy army entirely shatters after their massive losses. Our losses were fairly minimal by comparison, 26 by the looks of it, though I'm not entirely sure whether that'll be the same once the battle ends, because sometimes these numbers are off. Either way, it's not much, and it's probably just some bats that died, so we hardly care. On top of all that, we did come into this battle somewhat damaged with at least a few of our flying units. We're gonna blob them all up, and we're gonna start casting those repeated Earthbloods to heal them all back up. Of course, we can't resurrect those bats like we would be able to via an invocation of Nehek, but I'll certainly take being able to heal up our single entity units. Especially consider, is there still a unit down here? Well, there was. I got arrowed by the Glade Captains. Yeah, we do have a lot of single units or single entity units in this particular army, so it is quite effective to have that Lore of Life caster to always be flying around, healing them back up to full. Almost like an undead army in that regard, and clearly quite effective at sieges. But how effective we shall see in a second by seeing what the damage was. Well, there we go. So much for decisive defeat, or whatever that was. The auto-resolve was thinking. 4 losses, and I think they were probably all bats at that, and our units even healed up more than they had from the start. We could get 5k for sacking this, but frankly 5k isn't really all that much, and I'd rather not waste 2 turns, so we're going to cede the place. Or actually, wait, there's no actual point to getting these forts, is there? I keep forgetting that. Could have just left it as a ruin. Well, whatever. Not a big deal. Not gonna make much of a difference anyway. Province secure Gisero Gap. I suppose if we had raised it, we would have actually moved further away. At least this way we could reach Marienburg if we wanted to, or Marienburg as you prefer. We will probably do that rather than Castle Artois, mostly because it's an important territory. Though I suppose on the other hand... Oh, is this guy gonna take Helmgard as well? We'll see. Well, we're probably gonna have to declare war on these guys relatively shortly anyway. Yeah, we really need to get an ally here. We need to destroy the Empire and we need to give an ally some territory. I think the only issue with the Kurun ally is the fact that they really like the Empire, which I'm not such a big fan of. They will completely refuse to break their defensive alliance with them as well. Which is a shame. But what can you do? Maybe we'll eventually be able to get them. Once the Empire is weakened, once these guys love us even more, perhaps it'll be a possibility. Anyway, let's see what we got in terms of building. Haunted Forest, you have to stay as you are for at least 1 turn. Avalorn, ready for lots of stuff. And Gaian Vale, definitely. Let's get that game lodge up and running for additional growth. Let's also, I guess, get that Sculptor's Cavern at the same time. We could get the forest lookouts just temporarily, and then I guess we will build the grapevines as well. You know what, let's build the grapevines first. Oh wait, the forest lookouts don't actually... yeah, fine. Oh, we have to choose between the forest lookouts and the exotic animal... well, I'm just gonna assume that we're not likely to get attacked here for now, so we'll build the money stuff first, and the other stuff afterwards. We'll still build the other stuff, I'm sure. Alrighty, next up, the Witchwood. We cannot build anything there, because we're already building what we need to, and we need to start with the growth, similar to what we've got here. And I believe that is it. Alrighty, well, let's see if there's anybody else that needs to move. And I don't believe there is. So you know what? I think this is where we're going to call the episode. Now the simple reason being that next turn, as soon as we end it, a Grimgor will attack Dulcet the Wild, and this is going to be a toss-up as to whether we can actually physically win this or not. And then on top of that, there's a fairly high likelihood that somebody here gets attacked, and even if not, we'll have to spread out and attack one of them right afterwards anyway. So there's no real reason to end the turn right now. There's also the possibility that Orion attacks Colas at Castle Carcassunus. He's probably not going to get a better opportunity, so we shall have to see about that as well. So, stay tuned for all these potential battles. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.